Welcome everybody to Saturdays with Terah.
I'm Mary Beth. You are at the Law of Attraction Club on the web at theloaclub.com. Remember, if you have a question or a comment, to press *6. If you're on the Hangout on air, this is our introduction to the theme of the week. All of this is also being simulcast on our conference line, and we'll continue on the conference line with more discussion and Q&A after the Hangout. And of course, you're welcome to join us. Robin will be bringing through Terah for us today. So welcome to Terah and to Robin. Over to you.
And welcome to you and to all of those on the call and those that will be, of course, engaged with us in the recording after the event. The number one reason you fail is you're fixated on reality. Despite what we say about your past having no power to affect your present or your future, it's that reality obsession you have that has you locked on a track going where it's always gone and with what seems like little opportunity to change things. Today, as we often do, we're going to talk a little more here about the essence of you, the essential truth about you and the world you're in. It's a natural flow from last week's discussion, and yet, as always, there will be some new ways of looking at things. Understand that we are not here to dispense wisdom from on high. We are a consciousness even as you are. We simply have a different perspective. And we enjoy sharing that view of things in response to your questions. Why do we focus so much on what is fundamental, what is absolute? Is it important for you to know these things? Well, only you can answer that question. If your beliefs about life are serving you well, then all we could possibly add to your story would be to simply say, choose to be positive. The law of attraction, you see, applies no matter what story you have chosen. You can't use it because it's like gravity. You cannot not use it. It applies to everything. If you always reach for that better feeling thought, you'll do very well in this game of life on earth. It's just that there are those of you who want more than that. You want to know more fundamentally the way things work so that you can create more of what you want. And so here we are again. If you've been trying this method or that method for creating more joy in your life and not succeeding, or if you've been looking for answers and not finding them, then we offer all of this as nothing less than the ultimate foundation upon which you can build anything you want. We will not, and never would, presume to ask you to give up on any of your beliefs, any part of your story. Your story, after all, defines you. No story, no you, no existence. We will, however, be taking you to a place where you'll be able to see which parts of that complex tapestry of beliefs and expectations of yours are no longer serving you, and helping you with some powerful processes you can use to make lasting changes. All religions, spiritual philosophies, and scientific enclaves have their own story. In this one's world, perhaps in yours also, many of those are incredibly detailed. Some are exclusionary. Some are contradictory. Most start from the very common base assumption that there's a world out there, a time-based physical world that's shared by everybody. That world seems so obviously real that, if you think about it at all, you might say that that assumption is unchallengeable. The problem is that for as long as you hold this as your reality, you cannot logically answer the foundational questions about who you are and how it all works. In that shared one world, even the law of attraction Makes no sense at all. The place we would choose to have you start from is storyless. If it's the first time you have come to this, it may take a while for you to get your mind around it all, because it will turn upside down much of the way you think about things. It has taken this one and those leading this community quite a while to understand all of this and integrate it, and we are all still expanding here as this unfolds. We encourage you on this journey. Here's our promise. Once you've arrived in this place of true understanding, you will be able to step with confidence in any direction you choose, and there will never again be a question about life, or anything else for that matter, you cannot answer. Here are the absolutes. There are three. Number one, you are a consciousness. You are an always connected, timeless individuation of the collective consciousness of all that is. It is your intentions and desires that create you. 2. Change is the only constant. As you have experiences, new desires are born and new beliefs. With each new choice, you step into a new version of you, and a new matching version of your context wraps itself around you. You and your context are one. 3. 1 and 2 above are not a choice. Everything else is. What we call the law of attraction is contained, of course, within those absolutes. But let's restate it with these simple words. By what you choose to believe and expect, you attract into your experience, unique to you, moment by moment, wanted or unwanted, a version of you and your world that matches those choices. This world of yours, this you and the context around you, all of this is uniquely your creation. It's not a shared one world out there. It's your world. It's a movie playing in your mind. It's all an inside job, and it's a moment-by-moment creation. In that world, of course, you are intersecting with matching versions of other people and their worlds, and those intersections merge into what your senses tell you is a continuous one world. But this world of yours is simply the stage upon which you choose to have your experiences. Remember that you are a consciousness. Your thoughts are real. Your experiences are real. It's your reality that is virtual. How is it then that it seems so real? When you wake up from a dream, you know that you have returned to a place that's clearly more real than the dream was. We're going to repeat what we said last week in a way we have not said it before. This context of yours is always going to be the most real place you can be because it's your twin. It exactly matches you. As you make a new choice and thereby step into a new version of you, you are always going to inherently sense that this new matching context wrapping itself around you is more real than any other. When you die, it will be a choice. Because of the way many of you have chosen to think of death, it may be a very big deal choice, but it's still a choice. In principle, it's the same as any other choice. And just as it is with every new choice, you will step into a new version of you, a new matching version, context will wrap itself around you, and just as when you wake up from a dream, you will inherently sense that where you stepped from is less real than where you now find yourself. You will have expanded into a new level of consciousness, and it will be as real as anything can be. The important message here is, just because your always current context seems so real, doesn't mean you can't consciously and deliberately change it. Don't let the seeming realness fool you. There's nothing you cannot be, do, or have. But the status quo will prevail until you make a new decision. You do that by imagining what you want and getting into eager anticipation. The extent to which you can make that imagined place real in your mind is the extent to which you step into the new version of you that matches that vision. That's called allowing. That's called alignment. That's what brings about manifestation. Can you see, therefore, that knowing that you're in charge is a very powerful starting place? Can you see why it is that we are encouraging you to loosen the grip you have on that so-called reality? The truth of who you are is not complex. There's a divine simplicity at the core of all this, as you might expect. We know it's not necessarily easy to integrate this when you've spent a lifetime thinking of the world as something you have to live in and deal with. But we suggest you begin now to step confidently into this new way of thinking. Try it on like a new set of clothes. Get used to being in this place. It's the doorway to that place of peace and power and fun and freedom. And as always, we are here to support you and to answer your questions.
This Hangout on Air was to introduce our theme for the week. Our longer discussion continues right now on our conference line. Once again, you're welcome to join us.